to be watching the Dead Meat Awards. Fuck, this is loud. You're going to be watching the Dead Meat Awards. I know who I want to win.
Every year, horror films are ignored by mainstream critics.
They got
People
Roger
who
L. Jackson.
probably don't even have a favorite scary movie.
Fuck the Oscars. Fuck the Oscars.
Everything horror is capable of.
I do.
How it can make you laugh, scare you, move you, or make you absolutely squirm.
I do.
It's time we honor those chills at the second ever Dead Meat Horror Awards.
Oh yeah.
Enjoy the bloodshed.
Scream 6 is so fucking good. Ooh, as a horror fan,
It's
so
time
excited.
to
I
honor
want
the best in
Terrifier
horror
2
from
to win Best Original,
2022.
or Terrifier 2 to win Best
The second
Sequel.
annual Dead Meat Horror Awards. So raise your emoji hands in the air for your masters of scaremonies, James A. Janice and Chelsea Rebecca.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dead Meat Horror Awards. We're doing it again.
Yes, we are, and we've got our work cut out for us tonight. 2022 is probably the single best year for the genre in my entire life.
Yeah, I think so. We had familiar franchises
It was very good.
reigniting and brand new ideas becoming instant classics. We were just awash with great horror movies the whole year. And such a diversity of subgenres too.
Scream
We had
5,
scary,
Terrifier
there
2,
was
I mean,
funny,
holy
there was
shit.
schlocky, there was elevated.
There were one-location, small-scale thrillers and epic blockbuster adventure flicks.
Yes,
Seasoned
sir, there
veterans
were.
continue to contribute to the genre, while many of the most memorable movies
So
were
cool
made
that
by
they got the
first-time
Ghostface voice actor.
filmmakers. And the acting, we had some of the year's best
Oh,
performances
Pearl,
of
fucking
any genre.
Christ.
Absolutely. And
Oh my
despite all
God.
that, hardly a single one of these films or artists were nominated for a mainstream award.
Fucking
It's the same case
bullshit,
every
man.
year, which is why the
Bullshit.
genre has always had to acknowledge itself.
Mia Goth
Thankfully,
was
we have
so
the
fucking
Fangoria
snubbed.
Chainsaw Awards,
Oh my
the Saturns, and many others put together by fans.
Which now includes the Dead Meat Horror Awards, where we'll be giving out 11 prime ribs
Hell
tonight.
yes.
Full disclosure, once again, the winners were just chosen by the two of us, though we were able to get input and suggestions from fans on Twitter. We're continuing to consider alternate ways to determine winners, but in the meantime, at least we're not just shooting in our house this year.
Yeah, that's right.
You better
we're
fucking
actually
pick
on
right.
location this year at the wonderful Mystic Museum on Magnolia in Burbank. This place is a proven pillar of horror fandom here in LA, with awesome exhibits popping up all the time, like the 90s horror movie one that just finished.
Big thanks to Kiko and Eric for letting us shoot here, and to our producer MK Vandenberg who put this show together. We hired MK to make this year's show way better than last year's, and boy did she deliver. We're gonna start the same way we did last year though, with a montage of this year's horror releases.
Last year, we tried to include every
Hopefully
single
Spencer
release,
from
all
Ice Nine Kills
54
does
movies that
something.
we counted. That
Pretty
wasn't
sure we did
possible
something
this
last year, but
time
I can't
since we had a
remember.
list of 167 horror movies released in 2022. Still, with editor
a
Mike
lot.
Seigan, you can't go wrong. Dude cut the Final Fantasy trailer that premiered at the Game Awards. So without further ado, Mike's montage.
Wow. We're to Final Fantasy the Game Awards. That's
Certain
crazy.
rules to surviving a stab movie.
Oh, Dewey.
Never trust the love interest.
Sorry, I punched my fucking
First
thing.
victim always has a friend group that the killer is a part of.
I'm stupid fucking giddy, man.
How long have you known Greg?
I don't know
Horror
exactly
movies are
how
so
long.
cool, man.
Like
Love horror.
2 weeks?
Oh my god.
He's a Libra moon, that says a lot! Fuck!
It's a great
Bodies,
day to be
Bodies is a
alive,
great
isn't it?
movie.
Burn it all down.
The one with Kevin Bacon
Good?
was meh.
Nope.
You really think you're ready?
Right?
You want to hunt something that's hunting you.
What happens when you do see it?
Smile. Pretty
Smiling
good.
at me.
That's one ugly son of a bitch.
I haven't seen the Grinch and Winnie the Pooh ones yet.
looking at me.
I need to.
You think I'm crazy?
I think you're being overdramatic.
We're all gonna die tonight.
I haven't seen the menu yet. I really should.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's Host? Not Host. Spider one. Whoa, what was that? Studio 666 is really good.
Okay, well, it's official. Tonight will be madness.
I'm okay. Is this normal?
Oh, Terrifier, hell yeah. I have some very interesting personal stories about Terrifier.
That
ties everything together conceptually.
I'll tell you later.
Welcome to Act 3.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
I've run from you.
Halloween Ends underrated, honestly.
I have tried to forgive you. But the truth is, evil doesn't die. It changes shape.
Did you just shoot me? You're such a bitch!
I love you all.
We love you too, Jeff!
Oh, goosebumps.
Hell
Fucking
yeah, Mike. Way to
Christ.
kill it like always. I love
Hell
that,
yeah.
man. Let's get to the awards.
One of the most exciting parts of horror movies is their sense of danger. We have a visceral and emotional reaction to seeing characters face the threat of physical harm. Of course, behind the scenes, we don't want anyone to get actually hurt, which is where the stunt team comes in, led by the stunt coordinator.
To announce this year's finalists for Best Stunts or Choreography, we have a man who devoted his body to entertainment for years, fighting demons from hell and dead men walking. He was also in the phenomenal 12-Hour Shift. 10-year-old me is marking out right now, while adult me is just happy to introduce him as our first presenter. Actor, author, and WWE Hall of Famer, Mick Foley.
Damn.
Thank you, James and Chelsea. I am thrilled to announce the finalists and winner for Prime Rib for Best Stunts or Choreography. Two things I am not unfamiliar with. Having lost my right ear in Munich, Germany, doing a stunt that did not quite work out, and several teeth along the way.
Wow.
Including one that ended up in my nose in a famous match, June 1998. But we're not here to talk about my accolades. We're here to talk about the accomplishments of our finalists. And the finalists are Dashcam.
Dashcam's low budget meant stunt coordinator Nathaniel Martin had to get creative with the film's violence and car crashes.
Haven't seen this one.
Martin had previously worked with director Rob Savage on his prior film Host.
Host was
For the
very
scene where
good.
Annie Hardy's
Host was
protagonist
phenomenal.
crashes into a lake, production built an underwater tank out of a shipping container and scaffolding, and used a fire hose to simulate surging water.
It looks pretty good. I mean, it looks as good as if we'd paid for a proper underwater studio.
Fresh.
A former dancer herself, director Mimi Cave knew movement would be important in her feature debut. Cave worked with actors Sebastian Stan and Daisy Edgar Jones on several dance sequences throughout the movie that punctuated their dangerous romance.
She had a very specific idea of what she wanted, and so that was sort of quite nice because we felt safe and like, I guess I'll do these moves and hope they look good.
Fresh also features a climactic 4-person kitchen brawl, which was achieved with the help of stunt coordinator Maya Aro.
Nope.
Nope's horse wrangling protagonists meant it needed plenty of help from actual animal trainers. Veteran wrangler Bobby Lovegren handled the horses on set, while Randy Savvy of the Compton Cowboys gave horsemanship lessons to actor Daniel Kaluuya.
I didn't know how to ride a horse really at the beginning, and I had a month to learn.
Other riding stunts came in the form of several motorcycle scenes. For Nope's Akira-inspired motorcycle slide, special effects supervisor Scott Fisher and stunt coordinator Mark Vandislau built a 20-foot-long track for actress Keke Palmer to ride down.
I got to do it, man. Oh my God.
Prey.
Stunt coordinator Stephen McMichael was
Also
in
good
charge
movie.
of keeping things safe during the extensive fight sequences in Prey. The stunts not only came from this movie's feral predator, played by Dane DeLegro, but also from cast members Dakota Beavers and Amber Midthunder.
I told Steve McMichael, the stunt coordinator, that I wanted to do as many stunts as he would let me. Well, I told him I wanted to do all of them. So he ended up letting me do all of them.
The film comes together in a spectacle of horseback riding, armed combat, and some truly impressive one-take fight scenes.
I need to rewatch Prey. Been a minute.
Scream.
Stunt coordinator Anthony Cesari had previously
Good
portrayed
stuff.
Ghostface in the original Scream. In the 5th film, he returned to oversee the movie's knife fights and pratfalls. One particularly difficult sequence was when Mikey Madison's Amber was set ablaze. Stunt performer Michaela McAllister wore a rubber mask of Madison's face and had to be set on fire multiple times.
Stunt performers that work with fire, man. No joke. No fucking joke.
Werewolf by Night.
I need to
Werewolf
watch
by
that.
Night brought blockbuster
Marvel
action
horror
to
movie.
this classic
I need
horror
to watch that.
character. Flight coordinator David Konk oversaw several complicated battles between the film's monster hunters and their supernatural prey.
There are elements of stunts in this that only a Marvel stunt person could do. And it's so fascinating being able to watch somebody do these crazy moves.
During the hectic climax, Gael Garcia Bernal's Jack Russell tears through a group of guards in a bloody brawl that was filmed in one unbroken take.
In the prime
I honestly don't really know who I want to win.
Stunts or choreography goes to Prey.
I can see that.
Congratulations to everyone who made the Predator kick ass in another century. Keep staying safe out there and have a nice day.
That was very cool.
Congratulations to Prey.
Very good
This
movie.
far to a franchise,
Very good.
it's really hard to still make a movie feel that dangerous.
We live during a time of unprecedented technological advances. And what better way to use them than to make gross things in horror movies? Digital
CGI.
effects allow filmmakers to do things that can't be achieved with mere prosthetics, whether because of safety or because their imagination has outgrown what can be done practically.
To present the finalists for this award, we've got one of the coolest people we've gotten to talk to on the podcast lately. You know him from pop culture in general. It's Howie
Howie
Mandel.
Mandel. Do it.
Thank you, James and Chelsea. You know, digital effects are an art form. They really are. They can, transform somebody
Do the
into a
Gizmo
big
voice.
blue monster. They can also make it easier for you. You don't have to sit for hours and let somebody touch your face. They can do it digitally. That's the beauty of this art form. To just give you an idea of the art form, can we do something digitally right now, Kenny? Let's, look at this. Oh, look, I'm all blurry. I'm all blurry. That's a digital effect. It's not a great one, but it's one that Kenny's really good at. Anyway, I am here to announce the winners. The finalists for Best Digital Effects are Hellraiser.
Director David Bruckner
I
and
need
the
to
team
watch
at
that.
Ingenuity
I can't
Studios
believe I
had
let
their
that
work
slip
cut out
past
for
me.
them, bringing this film's nightmarish hellscapes to life.
It was
I need to
really
watch
a
that.
joy and an honor for me to visualize some of Clive's creations and some of our own that may coexist.
This also included creating the impossible geometry of the lament configuration, as well as digitally enhancing the otherworldly Cenobites by building on their practical prosthetics.
Men.
Actor Roy Kinnear portrays multiple characters of
I also
different
need to
ages
watch that
throughout
one.
Men, Alex Garland's third directorial effort and follow-up to his 2018 film Annihilation. To play Samuel the schoolboy, Kinnear's face was composited onto the body of actor Zach Rathera-Oxley. VFX supervisor David Simpson of Framestore oversaw the film's horrific climax, during which all of Kinnear's characters give birth to each other in an increasingly disturbing chain.
Really, the VFX people take on at a certain point that this film is going to fail. The whole film will fall apart unless they do their job well.
What the Christ?
Nope.
Nope contains several seamless hidden effects, including complete sky replacements in all of its outdoor scenes, and a groundbreaking method for shooting day for night.
The clouds is going to be the ocean in Jaws. You know, we want people to look at the sky and start to be like, oh, maybe this is a threatening, environment.
Of course, MPC Film also provided some impressive digital creatures, like the larger-than-life jean jacket and the absolutely terrifying Gordy.
Like, it's all about immersion. It's all about believing something is happening, unbearably elemental and grounded. And that comes from ultimately visual effects.
Prey.
Prey features an array of digital creatures, including several fully CGI animals, ranging in size from a mouse to a bear. VFX supervisor Chris Ayed and his team at MPC Film
makes sense
also
that they wouldn't
digitally
be real.
enhanced the feral predator's practical suit.
We did try something that was sort of like a Neanderthal predator that looked a little too clunky, and we opted to go in this other direction, more of a horror character. He's something that's more feral, which is where the term feral predator came from.
The scenes depicting the predator's cloaking sometimes required the use of a full CGI model animated into the scene.
Smile.
New York-based studio The Artery handled all of Smile's visual effects, which ranged from retiming a stabbing to a dead CG cat. The climactic final fight against the Smile Demon required the use of extensive fire simulations.
It was a scene that we knew it's going to be mostly CG fire,
but we still had a stunt burning on set because we felt that we need to see how it's going to be captured in camera, how it's going to look within the set.
While the demon itself was a combination of practical prosthetics and digital doubles.
Even like Rose's mouth being stretched open, I mean, that is a practical effect that's then taken further with visual effects.
Crazy
Werewolf
shit.
by Night.
While director Michael Giacchino wanted to keep his Halloween special as old school as possible, Werewolf by Night still updated its classic effects. When it came to the Towering Man thing, VFX supervisor Joe Farrell worked with a team at JAM to digitally enhance the practical suits made by K&B Effects.
I don't see it as just a thrill thing where it's like, oh, there's a crazy monster. To me, it's the exploration of how they cope with the demons in their life.
In fact, the effect was so well done, Giacchino ended up doubling the character's shot count.
And the prime rib for best
I don't even
digital
know who I
effects
want to win
goes
this either.
to...
Maybe Nope? I don't know.
The envelope's already here. Nope!
Oh,
congrats
let's
to
go.
Jordan Peele's team for all the digital wizardry we saw in Nope.
By the way, this is live.
Back to you.
This is a live premiere,
Congratulations
so
to Nope. I mean, when you invent a whole new
It's not
technology
like I
for
already
your
watched
movie,
it.
that's usually worthy of an award. Just ask James Cameron.
Practical effects are a huge reason so many of us love horror movies. There's a sense of magic to seeing something grotesque and unnatural brought to life with prosthetics
shit.
and animatronics.
To announce the finalists for Best Practical Effects, we have a makeup icon and a man worthy of being his successor. They've worked on films like The Black Phone and made masks for Slipknot and Bray Wyatt.
Oh,
From
wow.
Colosseum Studios, Jason Baker and the legendary Tom Savini.
Oh, Tom Savini.
Thanks, James.
He
and
liked a
Chelsea.
tweet of
As
mine
makeup
once.
artists, we know firsthand all the time and effort it takes to make a practical
Nice
effects
suits,
look
guys.
great.
There have been a lot of great technical advancements in the 50 years that I've been doing makeup.
I didn't
but to
know
me,
that
nothing will
Tom
ever look as
Savini
good
made
as
Slipknot
blood and
masks.
guts that you can feel.
The finalists for Best Practical Effects are Crimes of the Future,
Director
Terrifier
David
2.
Cronenberg
Terrifier 2
returns
has to
after
win
an
this one.
8-year
Come on.
hiatus for another film filled with memorable, grotesque effects.
I
For the
should've watched
surgical
this
body
one.
horror of Crimes of the
I'll do it
Future,
eventually.
the team at the Toronto-based Black Spot Effects
I really
created
like
numerous
some of David
prosthetics and
Cronenberg's
realistic
movies.
body doubles.
For Cronenberg specifically, which I think he's fairly well known for at this point, but he doesn't do shot lists. The idea of not knowing how something's going to be shot is definitely more complicated because then you're having to build larger or on a bigger scale than you maybe necessarily would.
One of their most striking creations was the Earman, a body-modded dancer who required 36 prosthetics to bring to life.
Hatching,
For her E.T.-inspired coming-of-age creature, director Hannah Bergholm literally Googled the best team for the job and found animatronic designer Gustav Hogan and makeup effects designer Connor O'Sullivan. For the bird-like animal itself, Hogan designed a practical rod puppet that required 5 operators to control the body and another to handle the face and fingers by remote control. O'Sullivan guided the creature's evolution into a human doppelganger using prosthetics sculpted by Julian Murray.
That's weird.
Tinia,
I'm not gonna watch that.
Alli.
Hellraiser,
Josh and Sierra Russell of Russell Effects worked closely with director David Bruckner to find the balance between Hellraiser's gore and glamour. Their team overhauled the franchise's Cenobites, trading in their leather clothing for exposed muscle.
Cenobites have always advanced design in the horror space. I'm excited for modern audiences that aren't familiar to discover them for the first time.
Extensive prosthetics were used, with Jamie Clayton's pinhead requiring a 4-hour application process.
Wow.
Mad God,
Director Phil Tippett's extensive career in special effects reaches a creative peak with this passion project that took more than 30 years to make.
We work in an industry where perfection is constantly striven for, and happy accidents just don't happen. And so with something like this, it's okay to slop things together and see where it takes us.
Mad God is a cavalcade of strange creatures and nightmarish landscapes, all handcrafted in painstaking stop motion by Tippett and
I
his
should
team
watch
of
that.
volunteer crew members, some of whom had little to no prior experience.
I thought it was really cool that we got to make our own elements for the film. We got in the green screen room and combined hot dogs and Jell-O and chocolate milk and squished it all together and made shit for some of the scenes.
Terrifier 2,
Come on, this
The
has to
original
win.
Terrifier was a graphic showcase
Amazing
of
gore.
practical effects. For the sequel, writer-director Damien Leone, who leads the special effects team himself, went even bigger and bloodier, with scene after
I have some
scene
very
of
interesting
skin
stories
being
about
torn
Damien.
asunder.
Damien's bringing
From when I met him
to
personally.
life. 3, 2, 1, hit. Alright, hold.
The film's hyperviolence and extensive gore employed
Oh, yeah.
a wide variety of tricks, including using actual meat in a decapitated head to give a realistically fleshy effect.
X.
X is also very good.
Teams at Weta Workshop,
But it
Scale
can't go to
Studios,
anyone
and
other
Mimic
than
Effects
Terrifier
all
2.
came
Come the
together
hell
to
on.
create the many practical elements in X.
We did a lot of gags, huge prosthetic makeups, full transformations, and then subtle ones, everything in between.
In addition to the film's various kills, most notably RJ decapitated by excessive stabbing and headlights, their work also includes the elderly slashers themselves. The makeup process for Mia Goth's Pearl required over 30 individual
admit,
prosthetics
that
and
was
took more
very
than 6
impressive.
hours to apply.
I hope the
Immensely.
practical stuff never
Come
goes
on,
away.
has
I
to go
don't think it
Terrifier.
will.
You like our tuxes?
Oh, we dressed up for this.
Terrifier.
And the prime
Terrifier
rib
2.
for best practical effects goes to Mad God.
Ah,
Congratulations
all right, yeah,
to Phil Tippett
I can expect
and
that.
everyone who worked on this
I respect that.
messed up little movie. You truly earned this.
Congrats to Phil
Very
Tippett for his
impressive looking
decades
movie.
of work making Mad God. We know a lot of people
And yeah, it
wanted
took decades,
Terrifier
so
2
yeah.
to win, and in any other year it probably would have, but it would have felt wrong not to reward a movie that's almost entirely made of stop motion. It's a
Yeah,
reminder that practical
I
effects can
admit.
be used for
Yeah.
more than just kills.
Of course, we've got to honor the kills, too. I mean, this channel wouldn't be anywhere
Oh,
without
shit!
it. Obviously, this category will contain spoilers, so watch out when it comes to the movies listed on screen right now. To present the finalists for Best Kill,
No
we
one
got
deserves
someone
to
whose
win
horror
other
career
than
has
Terrifier
always
2.
been
I would
intertwined
accept
with
Studio
death.
666.
Whether he was escaping death's
but-
plans with premonitions,
Come
or
on,
being
has to be
killed
Terrifier
multiple
2.
times on the same show, he has seen and experienced many great kills in films and TV. It's my boy Devon Sawa!
Oh shit. Devon Sawa.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Chelsea. You know, back in my
Canadian
early
himself.
career, I didn't get to experience a lot of on-screen deaths. I played characters that just, frankly, didn't die. But over the last few years, my good pal Chucky has changed all of that, killing me
True.
multiple times. And they were all really great deaths, just like the ones we're honoring today. The finalists for Best Kill are Allie, Terrifier 2.
It has
Art
to
the
go to
Clown
Alley.
goes overkill with this stabbing,
This
scalping,
kill
dismemberment,
was
defacing,
insane.
bleaching,
Oh,
and
I
assaulting.
love
When
it.
COVID-19 halted production,
Oh, I love
director
it.
and special effects artist Damien Leone decided
Super
to use
nice
the
guy.
time to make
Also,
Allie's
I just
death
saw an Ice
more
Nine Kill shirt.
extreme. The changes turned a 2-day shoot into a full week and spilled so much blood that actress Casey Hartnett got stuck to the floor. From the first cut to her last words, the kill takes a grueling 5 minutes.
Should have been longer. Should have been fucking longer.
David,
Ugh.
bodies,
Oh, it's so good.
In the ultimate don't try this at home,
Oh, man.
champagne shenanigans lead to this self-inflicted
That was a pretty
neck
good
wound.
kill.
It's
That
no
was a pretty
mean
good
feat
kill.
being the stupidest kill in a movie full of stupid kills. But this age-protected TikTok beats the rest by also being the funniest.
Hey, tail waiting. Let's turn on the weather.
Yeah.
A s'more kill from the menu.
Hawthorne's staff and guests go up in flames for this well-done kill. The menu's final course sees both cook and customer burned alive in a s'mores-inspired sacrifice. Seth Reese and Will Tracy were inspired to write the menu while living in Chicago and based this kill on the tabletop desserts at Alinea, the Windy City's only 3 Michelin star restaurant.
I love you all.
Jeremy from Halloween Ends
It's a parent's worst nightmare come true when
That was a pretty
Jeremy takes a
impactful kill.
tumble over a staircase railing. This
It was
startling
good, but
kill
not
is the
gory.
perfect way to open a sequel where anything goes and nothing is sacred, not even a young kid being babysat. To ensure a properly shocking impact, a fully articulated silicone dummy of actor Jackson Goldenberg was sculpted by Vincent Van Dyke and given a full head of hair by Sasha Camacho.
Crazy makeup, crazy yelling, and crazy dying.
Jupe and the Star Lasso experience from...
This was a pretty
Jupiter's
horrifying
claim
death.
is consumed on multiple levels by the spectacle of Jean Jacket in this year's most claustrophobic
I remember the
kill.
visceralness
The
in the
jellyfish-inspired digestive tract shots were added as a reshoot when the production designer decided sometimes seeing is scarier. The set was a 90-degree stretch of heavy rubber membranes backlit by LEDs, with both the camera and the digested actors moving on tracks.
I'm going to take us to the mouth of hell, or as in this case, maybe the bowels of hell.
Raimi and
This
Samantha
is my
from
second
Studio
place.
666.
Because I remember loving this kill
Special
too.
effects legend Tony Gardner turns it up to
One of
11
the best
with
movies
his
of
double
last year.
chainsaw bed bisection. Before there was even a script,
still
Dave
can't beat
Grohl
Terrifier
asked
2.
Gardner if he had any kills on his bucket list. He responded with this attempt to one-up Kevin Bacon's arrow through the bed kill in the original Friday the 13th. Foo Fighters keyboardist Rami Jaffe had his entire body cast in fiberglass, while comedian Whitney Cummings simply donated a sex robot of herself that had been built for a Netflix special.
More blood in that scene than in both their bodies combined. It's just everywhere in the room. It's on the ceilings.
Great
it's on
kill.
the walls.
Best
it
kill of
was
that
on
movie,
the floor
but-
about an inch deep.
You know.
And the
How
primary
can it
for
go
best
to
kill
anyone
goes
other than
to-
Terrifier 2? I mean, come on.
Allie.
Yeah, this is a
Terrifier
no-brainer.
2.
This is a no-brainer.
Congrats to everyone who brought that kill to life. I'm going to say this now. I will never look at Bleach and Salt the same way again. Congratulations.
It couldn't have gone to anyone else.
Congrats to
I mean, come
Terrifier 2
on.
for a kill that purportedly made people puke in the theater. It was real gutsy releasing a movie unrated, but I think everyone would agree it was worth it when you've got kills like Allie's.
What's really impressive is how many of Terrifier 2's kills could have won this award. I mean, that Art the Clown knows how to murder with style.
And
Oh,
now
yeah.
for a new award. We said last year's show was like a pilot and that we hope to expand the scope of these awards in subsequent years. Of course, part of that is this much better production you're watching, which was put together by Dead Meat's newest hire, producer MK Vandenberg, and our frequent collaborator, director of photography, James Hull. The other part of expanding the show was to have a few new awards, and our first of the evening is the award for Best Villain.
Horror movies can be made by their main antagonist. A well-designed, well-acted villain can change a bad movie to a good one, or a good one to one that goes down in history. To announce the finalists for Best Villain, we have someone who played a deranged killer in one of my favorite horror films, Scream, and who's about to be another famous villain in the upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's film. I can't
Matthew
believe we got it,
Lillard.
folks. It's Matthew Lillard.
Fucking Five Nights at Freddy's. Let's
Hi,
fucking
everyone.
go.
My name's Matthew Lillard.
So excited.
I'm Matthew Lillard. No, I'm Matthew Lillard. I'm Matthew. Well, we're here today to present the best villain in a movie.
This is the guy
which
from
is
The
an
Hills
awesome
Have
part
Eyes
of playing a villain.
behind him.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I'm
I've never
sorry, I
played
can't
any
remember
bad
his
guys.
name.
I'm always really good. You're always. No, I'm a good guy. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. He has his reasons.
He looks familiar too.
Okay. So the best villains.
Oh,
The
I'm
nominees
losing it.
are the finalists. These
Yeah,
are the
I'm losing
finalists.
it.
Art the Clown from
It
Terrifier
has to go
2.
to Art. Calm the
The
hell
original
on.
Terrifier was well renowned for its gore, but the effects wouldn't have made such a splash without the villain causing them.
It
Art
has
the
to go to
Clown,
Art.
played with full devotion by
Literally
Alabama
has
native David Howard Thornton.
I
In
met
the
him
even
too.
bloodier
Super nice
sequel,
guy.
Art cements
Also,
himself
Alabama,
as an
let's go.
immortal horror icon. For inspiration, Thornton not only looked towards classic horror villains, but also silent comedy stars like Charlie Chaplin and Rowan Atkinson.
I kind of look at Art as like this. He's like the bastard child of Harpo Marx.
Go to my
and
Instagram to
Freddy
see my
Krueger.
pictures with all
He
the guys
also
from
cites the
Terrifier.
5 years he spent as an understudy of the late Stephen Carl Stephenson, well known as Robbie Rotten on Lazy
Oh,
Town.
damn.
He likes to think that Stephenson lives on through his performance as Art.
Rest in peace.
Chef Slowick from The Menu.
Equal parts culinary artist and cult leader, Chef Slowick rules his kitchen with ruthless authority. At first glance, he appears as cold as some well-served revenge. And through Rafe Fiennes' performance and the backstory revealed in the script by Seth Reese and Will Tracy, Slowick is given depth and a reason behind his deadly multi-course meal.
We're all gonna die tonight. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir!
In the meantime, please return to your seat. The next dish is exquisite. Plating in 5.
Yes, sir!
I love you all.
We love you too, chef!
To prepare for the role, Fiennes observed 3-star Michelin chef Dominique Crenn on set, and he paid closer attention to behavior than the cooking, learning how to carry himself and command the staff.
I spent a day and a half with her where she talked more about the demeanor of the chef in the kitchen.
Esther Coleman from Orphan to Kill. So first kill.
Yep.
The now 25-year-old Isabelle Fuhrman reprises the iconic role of Esther Coleman that she played 13 years ago as a 12-year-old. Since Orphan First Kill is a prequel, the character had to look the same age. To accomplish this, they used a combination of forced perspective, de-aging makeup, and younger body doubles. In the original film, Fuhrman was a child pretending to be an adult. In First Kill, she had to tap back into a childlike state of mind, so she went back to the notes she made as a kid on the first film script and paid close attention to her young body doubles, Sadie Lee and Kennedy Irwin.
My favorite part was honestly doing this with you guys. It was so cool.
The grabber from the Black Phone.
Yes.
Good
In
villain.
a genre
Good
practically defined by iconic masks, The Grabbers quickly adds itself to the pantheon. Jason Baker created the mask designed by Tom Savini and Scott Derrickson, who drew inspiration from the 1961 film Mr. Sardonicus. The modular mask, featuring 3 removable mouthpieces, was designed to see Ethan Hawke's eyes.
Once I saw the masks, I realized that the masks were going to do a lot of the work for me. And I had to really let the mask carry the weight.
The actor, who was much more used to playing protagonists, took the role as a challenge, since he saw the character as irredeemably evil.
I like playing flawed characters and people who aren't likable and things like that's always drawn to me, but whenever you're overtly evil, people believe you are spawn of Satan.
And Pearl from Pearl.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Long before her
Ooh, she's a
blood-soaked
contender
Twilight
for
years
art,
in
I'll
X,
admit.
Pearl was a sheltered
She's
farm
a
girl
contender.
who dreamt of being a star. Mia Goth hadn't even played Pearl in X before
Either art or
co-writing this
Pearl.
prequel with
Either art or
director
Pearl.
Ty West.
Within those conversations, this idea just started to form somewhat as a joke at first, I guess, because we never really believed that this could happen. It was just this fantasy that we had of doing a prequel to Pearl.
The resulting character study became an exploration of fame-seeking and mental illness, set in a time when neither would be understood by the general public, and certainly not by Pearl's dour mother, whose dismissal of her dreams leads to Pearl's breaking point.
I won't let you flaunt your arrogance in my face! You are not better than me! Yes, I am! I'm the whole world is gonna know my name!
Sully from Bones and All.
In adopting the novel by Camille DeAngelis, Bones and All screenwriter David Kajanik removes Sully's bloody
I need to
relation
watch
to
that,
Marin,
man.
the main character. Instead, Sully becomes
I'm
the
upset I didn't see
personification
that
of
in theaters.
1980s Stranger Danger. The stuttering, high-pitched character played by Mark Rylance only appears in a handful of scenes, but he makes his impression in every one of them.
Oh, he was in
Well,
he was in
life's
Trial on
never
Chicago
dull, it was
7.
Sully. What do you say?
Coming off as simultaneous
times when you back up and say you're not really Jason, you know, you're supposed to be making a few bucks and not hurt anybody.
Hey! You forgot your cigarettes.
Rest your pretty little heads. The spirits are dark, and they do indeed have your daughter. But I can take you to her.
The deal is off.
Recent
You
one.
have nothing to sell. You have no soul.
Crazy amazing actor, man.
A goddamn bitch. Pardon my French.
That movie looks cool.
What'll it be?
Rest in peace. Man. That's sad.
Thank you to all those
I
people
know it's
for their
supposed to be
additions
sad,
to
but, you
horror,
know.
no matter how big or small. We probably missed some people in that montage. Our apologies for any oversights.
And now for our acting awards. Because there
All right.
were so many
Here we
amazing
go.
performances this year,
Back
we
to the-
decided to
back
expand
to the hype
finalist
and the
pool
happiness.
for these awards. Instead of 6 nominees, there are 10. And it was still difficult to narrow them down.
First up, we're looking at supporting cast members who sometimes get to have more fun while the lead performers are busy with all that plot stuff. Side characters can sometimes outshine their lead counterparts by having an air of mystery to them or bringing comic relief.
Our next presenter has played both the lead and supporting roles in many horror movies and miniseries. We're happy to have her here, our friend, Kate Siegel.
Oh shit, Kate Siegel.
Thank you, James and Chelsea. It takes such a strong actor to make a
I
part
met her,
memorable
too.
when you have limited screen time.
I've
But
met a
this
lot of
year,
people in the
we've seen
horror
a variety
community.
of
You have
performers
to
playing
realize.
characters that we won't soon forget. From first-time actors and teenagers to an Oscar winner in his 60s, there was no shortage of scene stealers. The finalists for Best Performer in a Supporting Role are Dakota Beavers as Tabe in Prey,
Years of days spent working at TJ Maxx and nights playing with his band Western Boy prepared Dakota Beavers for the rigors of his acting debut. A member of the Oke-Owenge Pueblo and Apache nations, Beavers actually auditioned in Comanche.
Run, Naru. It thinks I'm the threat. This is as far as I go. No more. This is it.
Not knowing what to expect, he trained so hard before the shoot that he found the on-set boot camp underwhelming and spent most of his time between scenes practicing his horse riding.
Hong Chow as Elsa in The Menu,
When Hong Chow accepted the role of Elsa, there wasn't much to the character. She collaborated with costume director Amy Westcott on her look, invented her own backstory, and studied Ray Fiennes' mannerisms as Slowick to mirror in her own.
May I?
You don't have to do that. Okay.
I know that guy. He's in some comedy sketches on YouTube.
It's a pleasure to serve you.
She gave such a performance as Mater D that consulting chef Dominique Crenn offered her a job.
Rory Kinnear as Jeffrey and several other characters in Men.
Rory Kinnear wasn't just a supporting role in Men, he was most of the supporting roles, playing, by his own estimation, 9 or 10 different sinister stereotypes of toxic masculinity.
Samuel, go home. Leave the lady alone.
No, I want to play a game with her. She's told you perfectly clearly she doesn't feel like it. Perhaps you will later, but not right now. Why don't you fuck off? You first.
To keep them distinct, Kinnear wrote a biography for each of them and shared his homework with costume designer Lisa Duncan and makeup designer Nicole Stafford.
Justin Long as AJ in Barbarian.
After a career spent playing nice, Justin Long thought he got the script for Barbarian by mistake, but jumped at the chance to play the kind of creep audiences want to die.
I can get away, but you're gonna have to slow her down.
He was so committed to his selfish hysteria that Matthew Patrick Davis broke character as the mother to make sure he was okay.
No!
He even ate fake rat guts Baby Bird style for a scene that was ultimately cut.
Madeline McGraw as Gwen Blake in The Black Phone.
Director Scott Derrickson had to ask Madeline McGraw if she was comfortable swearing after she didn't in her audition, but she absolutely threw herself into the role.
Fucking cocksucking cowards!
Gwen's defiance during her father's whipping was entirely McGraw's choice.
My dreams are just dreams!
By contrast, her mom wouldn't even let her watch Derrickson's previous horror movies to prepare.
Jenna Ortega as Tara Carpenter in Scream.
Come on.
Already
Has to
a
win.
horror veteran, the then
Fucking
17-year-old
Jenna Ortega.
Ortega became the youngest actor
She's a
cast
2022
as a teenager in the
Scream Queen.
series. As a fan of the
Modern
franchise,
icon.
she studied the performances of Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox, but was too nervous to ask them about it on set. To prepare for the role of Tara, who suffers the opening attack in the 5th film of the series, she prepared herself with a Randy Meeks-approved syllabus of
phenomenal
slashers
stuff,
like
man.
Halloween and Prom
She's
Night.
great.
Who was the killer in Stab 1?
Oh, I know this one, you fuck. It's Billy Loomis. It's Billy Loomis, and he was Sydney's boyfriend, and he was played by Luke Wilson, and I got you, asshole.
Luke Wilson.
I got it. I got it right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tara, but
With
that's
Stu.
just not correct.
With Stu Mocker.
Zoe Renee as Jasmine Moore in Master.
Zoe Renee had never done so much preparation for a role before, throwing herself into director Mariama Diallo's curriculum of psychological thrillers, like Rosemary's Baby and Let the Right One In, and zooming with her almost daily during pre-production to talk about the character of Jasmine Moore.
I get it. This is advanced stuff. It can be really hard to make the adjustment to a school like this, especially for students of color
Where do you think I'm coming from?
I didn't.
I'm from the suburbs. Okay, Tacoma. I was valedictorian, class president. I'm not some... You don't even know who I am.
Mark Rylance as Sully in Bones and All.
To play an aging cannibal from Ohio, British actor Mark Rylance drew on 10 years of his childhood spent in the American Midwest.
You can smell that?
Oh, sure. You can smell lots of things if you know how. But we just smell anyway, whether we ate or not.
Instead of traditional instruction, director Luca Guadagnino gave him more abstract guidance, like teaching him how to properly flatten a Cornish hen for cooking.
Rachel Sennett as Alice in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Rachel Sennett was so committed
Everyone
to
in
the
that movie
character
is
of
very good.
Alice that her knife-wielding virtual auditions scared her neighbors through the window. Because it's an ensemble film set in the dark, Sennett couldn't be sure if she was in frame, so she always stayed in character when cameras rolled.
I know a lot. Our first date was at a bar. He drank like a medium amount.
Okay, Alice,
He
stop.
likes nature.
What is his
He's
middle
a Libra
name?
moon.
What is
You
his
don't
name?
ask what your middle
It's a
name is.
Libra
okay?
moon.
For a really long time. He's a Libra moon. That says a lot. Fuck.
The intensity of the shoot helped her bond with her castmates and find the sincerity behind the selfies.
Stephen Yeun as Ricky Jupe Park.
He was
in
very
Milk.
good.
Stephen Yeun's first note about Jupe was that he wouldn't have
think
been
I'm
the
pulling
lead in
for
the
him.
90s kids movie that made him fictionally famous. He drew on his own alienation as an Asian American actor to find the soul of a man typecast into oblivion and desperate for meaning or attention, whichever comes first.
What if I told you that in about an hour, you'll leave here different?
As a UFO fan, it didn't take much for him to believe in what did come first.
And the prime rib for best
Steven.
performer in a
Steven.
supporting role goes
Steven.
to
Steven.
Rory Kinnear
Ah,
for his performances
all right.
in Men. Congratulations to Rory Kinnear
I completely
for
forgot he
playing
was
all those
nominated.
different
Yeah, he
characters.
was
My
phenomenal.
hats off
Okay,
to
yeah.
you.
Okay, I'm glad he won. I completely
And
forgot
now
he was
our award
nominated.
for Best Leading Performer, which again has 10 finalists. These actors
Ugh.
include another first-time performer, as well as Dead Meat's first-ever two-time nominee. From troubled anti-heroes to classic scream queens, these performers truly elevated every single one of their films.
To present them, we have one of the most legendary leading ladies in all of horror and a finalist
Jamie.
in this category last year.
Jamie.
She's also a successful producer and our friend, the immortal Barbara Crampton.
Oh, Barbara Crampton. Yeah.
Thank you, James and Chelsea. What a fun evening. Being the lead in a horror movie isn't easy. The screaming alone can be exhausting, not to mention doing take after take of chase scenes or conveying the fear of coming face to face with an unnatural monster. But it's all worth it when you can watch the performance back and know that you helped make a good film great. The finalists for Best Performer in a Leading Role are Anna Cobb as Casey
Fucking
in
phenomenal.
We're All Going to the World's Fair.
Underrated
Anna
movie,
Cobb
honestly.
made her feature film debut opposite one of the
This
least
movie.
forgiving scene partners
broke me.
possible, a computer screen. In World's Fair, she plays teenager Casey, who lives her
Love
life
this movie
online
so
watching
much.
video versions of creepypasta. She spent months rehearsing with director Jane Schoenbrunn
I found a lot
to
of
find the character's
relatability in
virtual
this role.
vulnerability.
We were rehearsing once a week for months in the lead up. She was making like fake YouTube videos in character. We were having these like long conversations about like who this person was, what this world was, like why. I think that was the key thing.
Love the
for her.
director
The
too. They're
practice
super
paid
cool.
off. Almost a quarter of her performance is improvised, including a lengthy, unbroken take of an awkward dance.
Oh, yeah. And then she just starts screaming. Oh my god.
I watch the snow from my bedroom window.
Aisha D as Cecilia in
Yeah,
Sissy.
she was fucking
By
awesome.
her own admission, Aisha
I don't
D
think she's gonna
isn't
win
cut
though,
out
but
for
she does
social
deserve
media.
it.
But when she got the script to read for a different part, she immediately felt a protective bond with Sissy, an overly positive lifestyle influencer.
They were like, they want to meet with you, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I
I still watch
very
this.
low expectations.
I wanna watch
but I
this.
was like, I'm glad they want to meet because I have some things I want to say about my girl Sissy.
Dee rejected any stereotypical creepiness on the page in order to play the more empathetic human beneath it. During a quarantine, she tested out her take by sending the writers and directors an in-character video every morning.
You just care so much about what people think about you. Can't stand the thought that maybe someone might think you're weird. They might know the real you. Might find out you have a heartbeat, or feelings, or a fucking soul.
Mia Goth as Pearl in Pearl.
During the pre-production
She's gotta
quarantine
win.
of X,
She's
Kanye
gotta
West
win.
asked Mia Goth
Come
to
on.
collaborate on a
She's
prequel
gotta
script about Pearl, the elderly murderer she was about to play.
Anna
little
Cobb
while, it's just
is
a way to
my second
kinda
pick.
prep
Mia Goth.
and
Holy
understand
fuck.
older Pearl's backstory.
Fuck the
more,
Oscars just for
and
that.
over time, that morphed into a script.
Her resulting portrayal of a woman on the very sharp edge culminates in a one-take 8-minute monologue that she wrote herself and filmed 6 times in a row.
Oh man,
I'm a failure. I'm not pretty,
that's dedification.
or naturally pleasant, or friendly.
She's pretty.
I'm not smart, or funny, or confident.
No.
I'm exactly what Mama said I was, weak.
I saw this movie a while ago.
I don't know why. What did I do? Why wasn't my family like yours? I hate what it feels like to be me and not you. I'm so scared that when you finally come home, you'll see me and be frightened like everyone else is.
Rebecca Hall as Margaret in Resurrection.
Rebecca Hall wanted to follow her directorial debut with an acting challenge every bit as daunting.
Who's going to protect you?
I don't need protection.
A gamer.
You're very strong. But know that if anyone so much as touches a hair on your head, I will find them and I will hurt them.
For Margaret, a single mother who finds herself stalked by a powerful figure from her past, Hall approached the character as a mythic figure of motherhood. The film hinges on an uninterrupted 8-minute monologue that Hall delivered in just 2 takes in under a half hour.
And then when we got to shooting it, it was done in 2 takes. And then the AD was like, well, now we've got a full hour and a half where we're ahead of schedule. Like, what are we gonna do?
Regina Hall as Gail Bishop in Master.
To play Gail Bishop, the first black housemaster of a fictional Ivy League university, Regina Hall borrowed from her own experience teaching at the College of New Rochelle and based her character on some of her favorite professors.
Perhaps you've heard of the legend of Margaret Millet, a woman hanged for practicing witchcraft not too far
That
from
dude
where
on the
this
right
building
looks
stands.
exactly like someone at my
Now
school.
that is true. But believe me when I say the only thing that will haunt you this year is that extra slice of pizza.
Hall faced an unprecedented challenge as a performer when COVID-19 interrupted the production for over a year and had to slip back into character seamlessly after cameras were able to resume rolling.
There's a different way that, you have to learn to connect in a different way. You have to rehearse in a different way. You're in Master and you're in your mask and your shield until it's time to say action. So you've got to almost really I don't know. You have to be so present to be able to get it done.
Lauren Lavera as Sienna
She
Shaw.
was very good.
in Terrifier 2.
But
Lauren Lavera was director Damien Leone's only choice for Sienna, the angelic heroine who finds herself up against the terrifying Art the Clown. With over 20 years of experience in martial arts from Muay Thai to Taekwondo, Lavera performed most of her own stunts.
I love getting thrown around. I love throwing myself around. I just being able to physically feel what Sienna is going through, it takes it to a whole new level for me.
She also used the cold of the locations and costuming to her advantage, letting it fuel her character's own unease.
Something really strange happened last night.
What?
Nothing. I'm fine.
Havana Rose Liu as Darby in No Exit.
Making use of her background in multimedia art, Havana Rose Liu prepared for her audition by assembling a book of collages and poetry, as well as curating a playlist and even creating a dance for the character.
Really, the callback is where it all sort of came together, because I found that after that initial audition, I had been still thinking about her consistently for a number of weeks, and that doesn't always happen, sometimes you just have to let them go and see if it will happen.
In order to honestly and empathetically portray Darby, a recovering drug addict, Liu talked to friends and family members who had struggled with the disease.
Tell him that it's urgent.
Hey, Dr. Fletcher, it's Mike from the center. Can you give me a call when you get this message?
Tell him that it's urgent.
It's Friday afternoon.
Go fuck your Friday afternoon.
Amber Midthunder as Nadu in Prey.
As a member of the Assiniboine and Sioux Nations, Amber Midthunder's performance made her the first Native American woman to headline a major studio release.
When I originally auditioned for this movie, I did not know that it was a Predator movie. So that wasn't a concept that was introduced to me until later. And I would often forget that. And I think that really helped me, because that's not what, Nadu was going through either. She wasn't thinking like, this is about the Predator.
Midthunder had to master both her character's trademark rope tomahawk and a Comanche-inspired sign language created just for the film.
Micah Monroe as Julia in Watcher.
Although Chloe Akuno's script included English translations for the Romanian lines, Micah Monroe avoided hearing them spoken until she was on set to preserve the lonely frustration of American transplant Julia.
So yeah, I think it helped a ton. I didn't know any Romanian. I still don't. I always try to learn the language, but Romanian is very hard. And So you immediately will feel, you know, if you go into a coffee shop or a store, you feel uncomfortable because you can't speak the language and communicating becomes very difficult. So I think I really think it made this film what it is.
Monroe also drew on her own experience with language barrier isolation from the 9 months she spent in the Dominican Republic right after high school.
There's this guy that lives across the street, and he's always looking over here.
Looking over here how?
Every time I look over there, he's just standing in his window, and it's like he's staring right at me.
Keke Palmer as Emerald Haywood in Nope.
Phenomenal.
Keke Palmer wanted to work with Jordan Peele so badly that she messaged him on Instagram after the release of Get Out.
You were like, you know, when I DM'd you a couple years ago and you responded, I look and all of a sudden I see this DM from legendary, iconic Keke Palmer, by the way, who I would never disrespect her like that, but I legit didn't see it. And so we're working together and I see this like, let's work together someday moment. And I'm like, Keke, look.
He then wrote the character Emerald Haywood just for her, and she jumped at the chance to show off her natural charisma and sense of showmanship when she nailed 14 consecutive takes of her introductory sales pitch.
My name is Emerald Haywood. I act, write, direct, internet, VFX, fashion, baby. Do everything, karate, yay. Put a pop like it. Whoa. I direct, sing, write, rap. I do a little hippity, 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 ha, 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 pop, like. Breaking was my favorite movie. I'm just, you know, jack of all trades, MacGyver. I'm over here.
That was great.
And the delicious prime rib for best
Mia
performer.
Goth. It has to go to
leading
Mia Goth.
role goes
Has to. Fucking has to.
Mia Goth.
Yeah.
For her performance
Come
as
on.
Earl.
Her last
in
name is fucking
Earl.
Goth.
Congratulations, Mia, for playing and developing the complicated character of Pearl. We loved you. You were scary, and you really are a star.
She really is. She really
Congrats
is.
to Mia Goth, who has quickly established herself as a modern leading lady of horror. Can't wait to see what she has in store for us in Maxine.
Good performances
Oh, yeah.
like those we've just honored are inevitably guided by a good director. In our second new award this year, we look at all the people who are often regarded as the leading creative force behind making a film. A director has to instruct their actors, find the right tone of the film, and make it look good. Not to mention all the countless tiny tasks that come with leading a film set.
Our next presenter directed a documentary about Chucky that is played at a whole bunch of film festivals. It'll also be available to stream on Screambox TV soon, as well as rent or buy on Amazon and iTunes. Our friend, Kira Gardner.
Thank you, James and Chelsea. People can debate all day about the merits of auteur theory, but one thing's for sure. A director has a lot to do to be able to achieve the goal they set out to do. The finalists for Best Director are Mimi Cave for Fresh.
A week after Mimi Cave took the job to direct Fresh, her first feature, COVID-19 shut the world down. But she never lost her balance on the film's delicate tonal tightrope.
It is a sort of a strange, bizarre, messed up version of a coming-of-age story.
Cave toned down the script's more graphic scenes and made Fresh gorier by implication, tapping into women's existing fears to craft a horrifically familiar fable about the meat market of modern dating.
Why are you sitting so far away? Come here.
Zach Kreger for Barbarian.
Zach Kreger started writing Barbarian as a challenge to fit as many interpersonal red flags into a single scene as possible.
As I was writing it, I thought it was really fun, but then I realized, like, this guy's obviously the bad guy. If I see that coming, then the audience is gonna see that coming.
From there, the first-time director escalated that unease into a Sam Raimi-inspired roller coaster ride. The film's trademark unpredictability owes itself to his well-honed comedic muscles, always looking for the wildest and weirdest punchline to every setup.
Can underground rooms be listed as square footage? Below-grade spaces, basements, dens, etc. do not usually count, but it can be noted separately in the listing's total area. Oh, hell yeah.
Parker Finn for Smile.
For his feature-length debut, Parker Finn expanded his short film, Laura Hasn't Slept, into a disturbing love letter to chainmail horror, with trauma itself as the viral curse.
There's definitely a few things in this film that really frightened me, which is why I wanted to make it. What it might be like to have your mind turn against you and not being able to trust your own reality and you know, the feelings of paranoia and anxiety. Those are frightening things to explore.
He was determined to make his jump scares count, turning the film into a 2-hour stress stream where bad things can happen, and always do, culminating in one of the most shocking endings of the year.
You can't escape your own mind, Rose.
Chloe Okuno for Watcher.
When Chloe Okuno first signed on to the project, Watcher was set in New York City. A budget-mandated move to Romania allowed Okuno to channel her own alienation she experienced from time she spent abroad in Europe, without knowing any of the native tongues.
The thing that's great is that Bucharest, in a lot of ways, does a lot of the work for us because it's such a beautiful city and such a unique looking city. So just choosing locations that felt both beautiful, but also to a sheltered American's eye could feel a little bit strange, or because it has this kind of Soviet architecture, it could feel a little bit oppressive or brutalist. You know, I think that really helped establishing the sort of like style of the movie.
As a result, she shaped her first feature into a thriller twist on Lost in Translation, with an authentic sense of isolation at its cold heart, and an all too familiar frustration of not being believed.
I heard yelling. I heard screaming from in here, okay? If we can just get the key. He's hurting her, okay? Can we get the key, please? Just open the door, please!
Jordan Peele for Nope.
For his third film, Jordan Peele turned a nightmare about a confused chimp into an epic blockbuster, which explores our addiction to attention and how the film industry treats animal performers. While his first two films were a taut thriller and a horror comedy, Peele created a Jaws-inspired adventure flick this time around, making the most of the expansive landscapes in Agua Dulce.
I think it stands apart from my other films in that it's a bigger adventure than I've ever tried to tell.
Thematically rich and equal parts exciting, horrific, and hilarious, Nope forces the audience to imagine the unimaginable and reaches unprecedented heights in horror spectacle.
What's a bad miracle? We got a word for that.
And Ty West for X.
Ooh, I think
After
I'm pulling
6
for
years
him.
away from filmmaking, Ty West returned to movies.
I relate
with
to Ty a
tribute
lot,
the scrappy,
really.
low-budget spirit that got him there in the first place. West felt the genre had gone soft, so he made sure his sex-positive slasher left a grindhouse mark with its violence. But X is much more than a Texas Chainsaw-inspired slasher. West was more interested in the subtext than the subgenre, exploring the existential horrors of aging and the relationship between horror and pornography as outsider arts.
Well, what would be the ultimate, like, sort of lowbrow exploitation thing of, like, sex and violence, and then how would you do something maybe a little more highbrow with it? And that's sort of where the idea came from.
And the prime rib for Best Director goes to Jordan Peele for Nope.
Okay.
Yay!
Yeah.
Congrats to Jordan Peele. I loved
Yeah,
that movie.
I mean, great director.
He set out to do a
Would've preferred T.I., but
monster,
hey,
literally,
love
of a
Jordan.
film and completed it well. Horror is not nearly appreciated enough in the Academy and in the world in general, so hopefully you feel a little appreciation here tonight.
He's one of the few fucking, like, horror makers
Congratulations
who
to
have
Jordan
been
Peele.
actually
3
acknowledged
movies
by
in,
the
and
Academy.
he's already a titan of horror directors.
And now let's get to the top honors.
He
So many
actually
horror
has
movies
won
came
an
out in
Oscar
2022, and many of
for
them
a
were
horror movie.
incredible in completely different ways. But since this is an award show, we had to pick winners. As with last year, there will be 2 awards for Best Film, one for originals and one for remakes, sequels, and prequels. To make things just a little bit easier on ourselves, we once again expanded the finalist pool to 10 nominees per award.
This year, we wanted to hear your opinion too, which is why we linked to a fan favorite poll on all our social media pages: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you missed it, keep an eye out for it next year. To present the winner of this year's fan favorite film, we've got the mascot of Mystic Museum's Slashback video exhibit, Tapehead.
More than 25,000 votes were counted from all you amazing horror fans. The winner only had 16% of the votes, but that was enough for a plurality and for it to win. The prime rib for fan favorite film goes to...
I don't even know.
Nope.
Okay, cool. I can see Nope.
Congratulations to Nope. Now, if only it were on VHS.
You'll find that hard.
Congratulations to Nope, though I've got to stress it was a close poll. Horror fans ate good this year, and they knew it.
Horror franchises
Oh,
with
yeah.
endless sequels are synonymous with the genre. While we'll always need and value new
I think I
original
voted for
ideas,
Terrifier
sometimes
2
you want
or
the
X.
familiarity of a killer or characters you already know.
The best sequels and remakes find something new to do with a known property, blending the innovative and the formulaic into an enjoyable experience. To present this year's finalists for Best Remake or Sequel, we have the star of a movie that did just that. The sequel to The Shining, Dr. Sleep. It's Kylie Curran.
Thank you so much, James and Chelsea. Remakes and sequels sometimes get a bad rap, but they are so important for the horror genre. They keep our favorites feeling fresh and alive and can introduce younger audience members to old classics. The finalists for Best Horror Remake or Sequel are Halloween Ends,
The 13th installment in the veteran slasher franchise, Halloween Ends is an American film that sees Michael Myers return to terrorize Haddonfield with the help of an unexpected protege.
They would have helped him heal, but because your boogeyman disappeared,
Weird fucking movie.
they needed a new one.
Halloween Ends caps off the new trilogy that began with Halloween 2018. The film was directed by returning David Gordon Green, who co-wrote with Danny McBride, Paul Brad Logan, and Chris Bernier. It was produced by Malik Akkad, Jason Blum, and Bill Block.
You should give in. You should surrender to that feeling you had the first time you ever looked into his eyes.
Hellraiser,
The second adaptation of Clive Barker's The Hellbound Heart, Hellraiser is an American film that follows a friend group offered up as human sacrifices after they unwittingly steal the Lament configuration.
So if I solve it, do I get a prize?
I do.
The film was directed by David Bruckner and co-written by Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski, who developed the story with David S. Goyer. Collins, Piotrowski, and Goyer had previously worked with Bruckner on Prime Rib nominee The Night House. Hellraiser was produced by Goyer and Clive Barker alongside Keith Levine and Mark Toberoff.
I want to play some of Clive Barker's video games.
We have such sights to show you.
Orphan First Kill.
A prequel to the cult classic 2009 film, Orphan First Kill is an American film that sees the duplicitous Esther adopted into a
American
family.
film.
with
So
a
many
secret.
American films.
You're not going to believe what Esther can do. We spent the afternoon in the studio. She drew a portrait of me.
Not a bad movie,
Showed
but it
more
was
talent
just
than I
kind
had
of
when I
meh.
was in my 20s.
How's that possible? 4 years ago, she was still drawing stick figures.
Easy.
What?
Think about where you were 4 years ago. Now you're a fencing champion.
Yeah, just... It's impressive.
The film was directed by William Brent Bell and written by David Coggeshall, based on a story by original screenwriters David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick and Alex Mace. Mace co-produced the film with Hal Sadoff, Ethan Irwin, and James Tomlinson.
Hello, Mommy. Thank you, Mommy. I know, Mommy.
Pearl.
A prequel to this year's X, Pearl
A
is
good
an
contender.
American film set in 1918 that explores the early life of its titular star.
I'm special. Mama's gonna feel real stupid when she finds out, won't she?
It was developed during X's production and filmed shortly after it wrapped, using the same location. The film was directed by Ty West, who co-wrote with lead actress Mia Goth, based on the backstory they created for her character in X. West produced Pearl alongside Jacob Jofke, Kevin Turin, and Harrison Kreis.
Please, Mama, you have no idea what I'm capable of.
Oh, yes, I do.
Prey.
A prequel to the Predator movies, Prey is an American film that takes the franchise back to 1719, pitting an early Predator against a group of Comanche warriors.
You really think you're ready? You want to hunt something that's hunting you.
It's the first feature film to ever be released with a full Comanche language dub. The film was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who developed its story with screenwriter Patrick Eisen. It was produced by Jane Myers and Marty P. Ewing, alongside franchise producer John Davis.
This is as far as you go. No more.
This is it.
Scare Package 2, Rad Chad's Revenge.
A sequel to 2019's Scare Package, Rad Chad's Revenge is an anthological film that's chock full of gore and horror references.
How'd you like to play?
Just say anthology. Who says
The Saw send-up of
anthological?
a wraparound story was directed by Aaron B. Kuntz and co-written by
sorry,
Cameron
that was
Burns.
mean.
It also features 4 segments. Welcome to the 90s from writer-director Alexandra Barreto. The Night He Came Back Again, Part 6, The Night She Came Back, from director Anthony Cousins and written by John Karsko. Special edition from writer-director Jed Shepard. And We're So Dead, from director Rachel Wiggins and co-written by Kuntz and Burns.
You must stay rad, my friends.
That looks fun. I should watch that.
Scream.
The 5th installment in the slasher franchise, Scream is an
5.
American film that pokes fun at Hollywood requels, bringing together legacy characters and their modern counterparts to battle
that's
a
a good
new
one.
Ghostface killer.
Come on, it's just a movie.
I think I'm still pulling for Terrifier 2 though.
Is their favorite
Just
thing
because
in
the
the
gore,
world.
gotta support the
Movie that
gore.
made them love horror. That
But
Mom or
this
Dad shows
is one
up
of my
when they were
favorite
10,
movies.
that bonded
Like
them
fucking
together.
ever.
It's
Just
notably
because of
the first Scream
generation,
movie
you
since
know?
Wes Craven's death in 2015. The film was directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette of Radio Silence, and co-written by frequent collaborators James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. Vanderbilt co-produced alongside William Sherrick and Paul Neinstein.
What do you want from me, lady? Hey, watch your tone, new girl. You know how they always say it goes back to the original? Here's the original.
Terrifier 2.
A sequel to 2016's
Oh, I love that movie.
Terrifier
Fuck.
2 is an American film that sees Art the Clown return to wreak havoc on Halloween night.
Please stop, please.
Hey, buddy. You want to quit causing trouble?
Honky honky.
Its extreme gore led to an independent unrated release, yet it was still able to gross over $14 million at the box office. The film
met
was
that
written
kid.
and directed by Damien Leone, who co-produced with Phil Falcone, George Stuber, Stephen Della Sala, and Jason and Michael Levy.
Look, I get it, dude. The whole creepy
Jason and
silent
Michael,
mime
it's funny.
gimmick. I mean, it's very effective, and the blood is a nice touch, also.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
A direct sequel to Tobe Hooper's 1974 original, Texas Chainsaw Massacre sees an older Leatherface throw down with a group of influencers.
Try anything, you cancel, bro.
Oh god. Don't do it. Stop.
It is the 9th installment in the franchise overall. The film was directed by David Blue Garcia and written by Chris Thomas Devlin. It was produced by Kim Hinkle, who co-wrote the original movie, along with Fede Alvarez, Herbert W. Gaines, Ian Hinkle, and Pat Cassidy.
Drive, please go!
50 years I've been waiting for this night. Just to see him again. Looks like it's you that he wants. You need to stay. Till I kill him.
No, no.
VHS 99.
The 5th installment in the VHS series, VHS 99 continues the franchise's retro streak. With a Y2K anthology that includes 5 segments: Shredding from writer-director Maggie Levin, Suicide Bid from writer-director Johannes Roberts, Ozzy's Dungeon from director Flying Lotus and co-writer Zoe Cooper, The Gawkers from director Tyler McIntyre and co-writer Chris Lee Hill, and To Hell and Back by writer-directors Vanessa and Joseph Winter.
So
And the
Terrifier
prime
2,
winner for
Terrifier 2,
Best
Terrifier 2.
Remaker sequel
Come on,
goes
please,
to
please, 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 please.
Pearl, the prequel to this year's
Yeah,
X.
okay.
Congratulations to Ty West, Mia Goth, and everyone else who made this movie come together so
Yeah.
quickly after X.
Great movie. Great movie.
Congrats to Ty West, Mia Goth, and everyone behind Pearl. They pulled a prequel out of thin air, Roger Corman style, and we respect that.
And finally, it's time for the best original
All right.
horror film.
X.
Even when the
I'm
film
pulling for
industry
X.
at large seems to lean on established IP, you can always count on the horror genre to come up with all new messed up ideas.
To announce the finalists, we have one of the most talented and prolific horror filmmakers working today. He somehow
Flanagan?
found the time to do this between his seemingly endless projects.
Mike
It's our
Flanagan?
friend, Mike Flanagan.
I knew it. Yeah, he's definitely one of my
Thanks, you
favorite
guys.
directors
every
too.
year it feels like every idea for a horror movie has already been done. But every year, writers and directors prove that theory to be wrong. Last year brought us new original horror films that really ran the gamut when it came to subgenre. From horror comedies to slasher revivals to an epic grand scale adventure, 2022 had it all. The finalists for Best Original Horror Film are Barbarian.
Barbarian is an American film that covers the twisted events that unfold after a young woman discovers a stranger in her rental home.
Would you mind pulling up your reservation confirmation just so I can see it?
In case I'm some kind of weirdo who's broken in here to sleep? Yeah. No, it's fine. No, let me just find my phone.
It is the film debut of writer-director Zach Cregger, one of the founding members of the comedy troupe The Whitest Kids You Know. It was produced by Arnon Milchan, Roy Lee, Rafael Margolis, and J.D. Lifshitz.
You have any ID?
No. Are you listening to what I'm saying? I've been held prisoner.
So you don't have ID?
I don't have anything. I am not a crackhead. I am not a crazy person. I am a woman who's been held prisoner and has escaped.
The Black Phone.
The Black Phone is an American film following a kidnapped teenager who uses the titular phone to communicate with his captor's previous murder victims.
Did the phone ring for you?
It rang, but none of us heard it. Just you.
The film is an adaptation of Joe Hill's short story of the same name. It was directed by Scott Derrickson, who co-wrote with C. Robert Cargill. The two also co-produced the movie alongside Jason Blum.
Well, tell me your name.
Taylor. Taylor Mullen.
I was really starting to like you, Finney. I almost let you go.
Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Ooh.
Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is an American
like
film
Bodies,
about
Bodies,
a Gen
Bodies.
Z party that spirals out of control
As a
after
Gen
one of the
Zer.
guests is suspiciously killed.
What? You just said we're looking for Greg! Greg! She's coming to the kitchen! Oh my God. We need you for a second! Stop waving the knife at me! Stop! Greg! Greg! Relax. Relax. You're silencing me! Oh my God.
It is the English language debut for Dutch director Helena Rain. The movie was written by playwright Sarah Delappy, based on a spec script by Kristen Rupinian. It was produced by David Hinoyosa and Ali Herding.
I like your podcast, Alice.
What is your podcast about? Hanging out with your smartest and funniest friend. Did you just groan? No. When I said hanging out with your smartest and funniest friend. Like that.
I love this movie.
Like that. You just did it again.
Deadstream.
Deadstream is an American film that follows a disgraced YouTube personality who stays in a haunted house as a publicity stunt.
Jeez. I'm not sure how you're supposed to tell the difference between old house sounds and ghost sounds. Ghosts have a real...
Did you guys hear that? It's coming after me.
The film was written, directed, produced, and edited by Vanessa and Joseph Winter. Joseph also functioned as a lead actor and soundtrack composer. This is the Winters' second nomination of the night, along with their work in VHS 99.
Hey, little guy. I think we can both agree that Mommy's a little bit nuts, right? I was thinking maybe we could join
Who's yelling?
Fresh is an American film about a young woman who discovers her new boyfriend is a cannibalistic killer.
Can I get you something to, like, drink? Or eat?
No, just you.
The movie was directed by Mimi Cave and written by Lauren Kahn. It was produced by Kevin Messick and Adam McKay. This is McKay's second nomination of the night, alongside his work in The Menu.
I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna sell your meat. People pay me a lot of money for it. And your hair. And weird shit like that.
The Menu.
The Menu is an American film about an exclusive restaurant that takes a deadly turn when the staff takes revenge on their wealthy guests.
Please, please sit. Sit, please. It's all good. It's just part of the menu. It's part of the show. This is what This is what you're paying for.
The movie consulted several figures from the world of fine dining, including food designer Dominique Crenn and the chef's table's David Gelb. The movie was directed by Mark Mylod and written by Seth Rice and Will Tracy. It was produced by Adam McKay, Betsy Koch, and Will Ferrell.
What about her? Will Ferrell produced it.
What school did you go to?
Brown?
Student loans? I'm sorry, you're dying.
Nope.
Nope is an American film that follows a pair of sibling horse wranglers as they attempt to photograph proof of a mysterious UFO.
Like, all I'm saying is all that shit online is fake, low quality. Ain't nobody gonna get what we gonna get.
What we gonna get?
The shot.
What shot?
The shot. The money shot. Undeniable,
The
singular.
Oprah shots.
The Oprah shot.
The Oprah shot?
This is the third feature film from writer-director Jordan Peele and his second collaboration with actor Daniel Kaluuya. It was produced by Peele and Ian Cooper.
We were shooting an episode in season 2 entitled Gordy's Birthday. And, boom. So one of the chimps that plays Gordy just hit his limit. And it was 6 minutes and 13 seconds of havoc. Network tried to bury it, but it was a spectacle. People are just obsessed.
Smile.
Smile is an American film that follows a therapist who investigates a series of disturbing suicides.
That night the police called and told me he was dead. They asked me to identify his body. His face.
The movie was written and directed by Parker Finn and is the feature film adaptation of his short film, Laura Hasn't Slept. It was produced by Marty Bowen, Wick Godfrey, Isaac Klausner, and Robert Salerno.
Are you alone in the house, ma'am?
Yes.
Are you sure?
What?
Are you sure you haven't let something inside, Rose?
Speak No Evil.
Speak No Evil is a Danish film about a family tormented by a Dutch couple they meet on vacation. It premiered at Sundance as part of the festival's midnight section, along with fellow nominees Fresh and Hatching.
It's good that we have a doctor in the house.
I'm not a doctor.
But didn't you say you were a doctor?
Did I?
The film was directed by Christian Taftrup, who co-wrote it with his brother Mads Taftrup. It was produced by Jacob Yarrick.
What's going on?
Well, we have a situation here. Someone left without saying goodbye.
No, as I was just trying to tell Patrick, we had some really lovely days.
And then I ask again, why are you leaving?
Patrick, laten we over uitpraten.
There's just some things that makes us believe that it's the best that we go home.
What are those things? I want to know.
It's many things.
Such as?
So European.
X is an American film that
X.
puts the crew of an adult
Love
film
X.
against a pair of elderly murderers in rural Texas.
I don't think I like you, Wayne. In fact, I don't much like the looks of none of y'all. And my wife is next door, so I would appreciate a little discretion.
The movie pays homage to classic films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Psycho. This is the 5th horror film from writer-director Ty West, who also produced alongside Jacob Jafke, Kevin Turin, and Harrison Kreis.
What do you think is on it? Well, by the looks of everything, I see one goddamn fucked up horror
picture. X, X,
Prime rib for
X,
best original
X,
horror film
X,
goes to
X, X.
Nope.
Fuck.
Congratulations
Ugh.
to Jordan Peele, Ian Cooper, and everyone
Alright.
at Monkey Paw Productions.
Go movie.
And
Go movie.
thank you to all of the filmmakers who continue to keep this genre alive.
Congratulations to Nope for being our favorite horror movie in a year that had incredible horror movies. And congrats to all the other winners tonight as well.
And thanks to the Mystic Museum for letting us film here, and to the team at Dead Meat and all the crew that helped film tonight.
And thank you to you, the viewer, the subscriber, the horror fan. You're the reason we're able to do things like this and just do what we love to do. So thanks
Anytime,
again,
James,
and tune in next
anytime.
year. I'm promising that we're going to do it again. Bye, everybody. Be good people.
I'll hold you to that. Epic. All right. Well, that was the 2023 Dead Horror Awards. I agreed with some of the picks and I didn't agree with the others, but you know, overall it's super cool to see horror get the recognition it deserves that the fucking Oscars and all those other big award shows won't give them. Fuck y'all. As for next year, hoping to see Five Nights at Freddy's, assuming that comes out later this year, which is possible because it seems to be almost done filming. So hoping to see that. Hopefully, a lot of gore comes from that. And I'm very excited to see what the future of the horror genre has in place. I will tell you all the stories that I have with the people from Terrifier soon, and I also have some very, very exciting horror news in relation to me and my personal projects coming hopefully very soon. Very excited to share that with you all. Have some very cool stuff cooking. Anyways, I've been a Gen Z horror fan. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.